the computer is doing stuff. Okay, hopefully you can see me and I'm not getting interrupted by all of my computer doing stuff, but that's okay. Heading late into February, it's the last week and a bit of celebration, and there's a few exciting things happening. There is a new online exclusive range coming to Stampin' Up, which, as the name suggests, will be available online only. So I'm going to have a bit of a chat about that. I've got some of the goodies here to show you. I'm just going to give everyone a chance to jump on in and say g'day. So I'm hoping that you're all well. So what we've got happening is the last week and a bit of celebration. Last day of celebration is the 28th of February. What that means for you is that it's the last chance to get your free goodies, the extra things that you might like. There's extra designer series paper, there's extra stamp sets. There's a whole plethora of goodies that you, hi Alex, how you going? There's a whole plethora of goodies that are available to you. And Cheryl's here as well. That's excellent. It's good to see some people popping on now. So that's great. We'll get stamping in a second, but with the online exclusives, they start on the 1st of March. If you're a demonstrator, you can actually purchase some of them now. So that's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. During celebration, it's our best time of year to join. We have the best offer, is probably the greatest word for joining or establishing your own online account with Stampin' Up. What does it mean for you? It doesn't mean you have to do anything, but it does mean you get a wonderful box of goodies, approximately $315 worth, arriving on your doorstep, ready for you to craft to your heart's content. But it gets you a continual discount of 20% at least. Okay, so you don't have to go doing classes. You don't have to make videos like I'm making videos. You don't have to do any of that. You can do it your way. So if you want to reach out, if you want to join and you want to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to, and I'm happy to help you get started. The biggest, toughest thing to do is to pick all the stuff that you want. All right, so if you think your wish list is pushing $169, well, you're well and truly over that, then in that case, you know what? Joining is your best answer. So until the 28th of February, that is live. And if you're going to do that, I'll send you a link so that you know what's available in the online exclusives that's coming that we can pre-order, because you can also put those pre-order goodies in your kit. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's always that little opportunity extra there. So would you like to see some of the stuff? I got an order in earlier this week. For those that are interested, I'm also taking part in a wonderful group class that will be exclusive to people that purchase a bundle from me through the online store, and it's going to be an exclusive class. So there'll be heaps of other demonstrators. I think there's 12 that you'll be able to see. We're going to be all doing videos using these new online goodies. So yeah, it's something to look forward to, but the only way you can do it is if you join. Joining my team is got other perks, but not this one. If you purchase the kit that I will be putting up on the 1st of March for you. All right, so without further ado, let's swap the cameras over and have a sticky, hey? What do you think? All right, so I've got a few things here on my screen. I'll just push this computer out of the way, because that was so that I didn't look so little in amongst that great big space. Oh, the tape's not included, and neither's the white cardstock. I just grabbed those so that I can actually make a card with all the things I've got here. So there is designer series paper, there's stamps, there's, I actually forgot to bring over my die machine. Hopefully my husband's heard me in the other room and he'll come out and get that for me, all right, because I wasn't organised. I've got everything else here. This is the designer series paper, and its name is Hello Irresistible. It's a 6x6 packet. Look, he heard me. He's going to get me the big cut and emboss machine, including the plates that go with it, so which are all there together. So I guess I'll show you the pieces of designer series paper. Oh, now I'm going to sneeze because the pollen's come in the window. Excuse me. Just pop it there on the floor, honey bunny.
Just two.
There should be another one of those clear plastic ones from the top. All right. So in this paper, and that's something really exciting. When you turn it over, we've always got the information in numerous different languages because Stampin' Up sells in numerous different languages. But it's Halo Irresistible Designer Series paper. The colours include Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, and here's one that you may remember from times gone by, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, and another that you may remember from times gone by, Pretty Peacock. Gosh, I love that colour. I've actually still got that ink pad. So here it is here. I bought it out. I don't have Lost Lagoon anymore. I'm a bit suspicious we might have a colour refresh coming, but you never know. It's about time for it. And there's also soft sea foam in it. So as we flick the colours, you're actually going to see these. So that's that side of the paper. And I'm going to turn that over. And that's, oops, that's not the other side of it. What am I doing here? That is the other side. So you've got nice watercolor wash on that other side. Excuse me for 1 second. I do wish there was a bit of noise cancelling happening there, but anyway. Pretty on one side. Oh, sorry, not pretty. They're pretty on both sides. Patterned on one side and then another watercolory wash. See, you can see that pretty peacock coming in through there. And look at this really cool one. Spots and stripes, I guess, and another watercolory wash type thing. Some leaves. It's such a pretty packet of paper. There's going to be so many. Like, you can really let the paper do the talking on here, can't you? So you can essentially make that a card front, and boom, you're done. All right. Hey, we could do that. We could make a few different card fronts and just go for it. And that one, oh, look how pretty is that one. I pulled it out before, but I just sort of did a quick flick, so I really didn't get to see what, oh, I can hear a motorbike, so you guys probably won't hear it, but if Ollie hears it, that'll be the end of that. He'll go barking off on his merry way. That piece is, the soft sea foams in here, quite pretty. And then look, it's that Flirty Flamingo colour on the back. More soft sea foam. I do love that colour. And there it is again on the back. Definitely pretty peacock. How nice is that? And it works so well. I don't know if you guys can hear that. The microphone on here does have noise cancelling, but I bet it doesn't noise cancel that out. And there's some more dots and stripes there. A little bit of two-tone colouring on this one. And on this one. They're just so pretty. And oh, you get 4 sheets of each one. So you can make quite a few cards. So 4 sheets of each one. Essentially, you can use them one on top of each other. They match, they go, they do all the things that they need to do. And if you decide you want to add this to your kit, let me know, because if you decide to join and you want to add this to your kit, let me know, because I'll send you the code so that you can add it. All right. So how nice is that? We've got 48 pieces of designer series paper in there. So essentially that, oh, essentially, I keep saying essentially, that could be 48 different card fronts, and that's just cutting that designer series paper one way. If you were to cut your designer series paper, take off just a little over 5 centimeters, or a little over, I think 5 centimeters is what in metric. Let me see. About 5.5 centimeters, so just a little bit over 2 inches before 2.25 inches. Oh, I'm looking at my trimmer here, which, by the way, I do not have any new blades, so we're going to get some fluffy cutting today. They're on an order. I'm popping an order in this evening. If you were to trim a bit off here, you can actually get 2 cards out of this. You could probably get more depending on how you did it. I don't know if you remember those cards that not a problem, Chris. I'm trying to type on a work keyboard to say hello to me when she's probably watching on a different keyboard, on a computer attached with a different keyboard. I don't really know if you remember the cards that I did at Christmas, and I had the gnomes and the candy cane, and I just cut it. I cut this piece into 4 different pieces, and then we just did a little bit of. What I'll do is, for those of you that are on my Facebook, I'll re-tag that so that you can see what I'm talking about. But it was a little 6x6, and we cut all these on angles, and you got 4 cards out of each piece. So you can get so many cards out of this one packet of designer series paper. We're going to use just, I'm not sure what we're going to use. We're going to work on it. There is an alphabet, a classic letters and numbers alphabet. How cool is that? For those that are scrapbookers, side note, I popped a scrapbook page on my blog today. You'll get a link to that this evening. It was a travel blog. It's a blog hop, so you'll be able to see some other travel photos scrapped as well. But it's a photopolymer stamp set. Look at them all. It's 2 full sheets. There's leaves to go with it, but there's numbers, and there's all the extra characters as well, so that if you don't speak English, you've got a few extra ones as well. And we've got all the little, what do you call those? Anyone want to write on there and tell me? All the little bits that go with it. So like if I wanted to write a time, I could write a time because I've got the 2 dots. Look at that one. I wonder how small that is. Where is it? Oh, look at it. It's teeny tiny. All right. So as a scrapbooker, I am very excited about that. Very excited about that. Don't ask me the prices off the top of my head because I can't remember. I just went add to cart, and send. So I'm not using this one today, but every scrapbooker that's around will know. Symbols, that's a good word. Yep. Thanks, Chris. Every scrapbooker around, you can never have enough letters. Okay. All right, so I'll just pop that there, and I'll forget about where I put it later. There is a basics embossing folder kit. All right, I haven't opened it, but there's 3 embossing folders in it, and they're really, really nice. I love embossing folders, as you all know. They're all 3D embossing folders, so they're the thick ones that give quite a bit of texture. This one here, I'm not sure how easy this is going to be to see. I only bought white cardstock over with me, so that won't help us. What I'll do is as it's getting closer to March, I will take a photo of a piece of, let's see, some sort of colour that's maybe in the brights of each of these so that you can see. But look, there's dots back again. I don't think that's going to help me. What have I got here here I've got a piece of navy. Will that make it so that you can see it? Look at that. There's dots. How exciting. And being 3D, they're quite significant dots. All right. This one looks like little stars or flowers. You could use that they're like starfish if you really wanted to go down that path, but they're like little flowers. And this one here, I love this one. Love this one. Is like crisscrosses and scratches and whatnot. How cool are they? But everybody that knows me knows that I like embossing folders. So they are fun. Right? And there it comes as a pack of 3. If I remember correctly, they're around the $50 mark, but don't hold me to any of the prices because I do not remember off the top of my head. Like I said, I just went add to cart, add to cart. I've been working extra shifts. I'm loving it. They're not going to go back in there now. They can go back in there later because I'm not going to use them now, although you can. But this is what I'm going to use because I just think it's pretty. I know we didn't need another flower stamp set. I know we've got a beautiful range of flower stamp sets to pick from, and we probably didn't need another one. But this one is just so, so pretty. All right. And look, I've even already got that one out because it's on I used that one on my scrapbook page today. So, my darling husband, he's even made me a cup of tea. Cheers, everyone. Hey, that's a good idea. Who wants a cuppa? Go and grab a cuppa and then, yeah, come and join us. So, Irresistible Blooms. It's a cling stamp set. So, it's red rubber, very, very sticky backgrounds. I've stuck this on the block without sticking my sticker on because I've shown you all many times how to stick your stickers on. So today I'm just going to wing it and I'll stick all my stickers on later. But these are the dies. So, all right. If anyone online needs me to show you how to put the stickers on, let me know and I'll just do one just so that I can show you. Oh, I feel like I'm just opening a present here. It's taking ages to get them to look at those beauties. So look, that's a whole, they're all stuck down really well. That's a whole circle. Let's put some skin on those so that they're not as sticky. That's a whole circle. I'm going to have so much. I love that. That is beautiful. That will look so pretty on not only cards but also on scrapbook page. There's our flowers from our stamp set that match, and our leaves, and we've got some skeletons of the leaves as well, which are always pretty. And then there's this beauty. Look at this. Oh, you've got to have your muscles about you to get it out of the packet. But that is a row of lines and dots. Very easy lines and dots. And I probably won't be using it today either, mainly because I only brought white cardstock over to the table with me. I didn't bring anything else because I hadn't actually looked in here. Oh, hello, Donna. How are you going? Hope you're all good. All right. Now, as I was saying, I've been doing some extra shifts. I've been learning for those that don't know, I'm now working, instead of working at the hospital, I'm working at the medical centre. And I've been doing some nursing shifts. So one of our lovely little nurses is going on maternity leave. Guess who made the card for her baby? Well, that would happen to be me. Now, did I bring enough blocks over? That might cause us a bit of grief. We might be going, oh, I forgot something. Can't forget something. All right, I forgot this. And these are loose frosted dots. So look at all that pretty colours there. We've got pinks, blues, yellows, greens. So the colours match the paper. So the Daffodil Delight, the Tranquil Tide, it's hard to see the blue, but they're all so sparkly. They are not adhesive. You will have to put some glue underneath them. They're frosted on one side. There's 2 different sizes in there. How many does it say in here that we've got in here? Approximately 360. That's a lot of bling. Hey, Cheryl, I reckon you're going to love these, except you do need to glue them on. But 360 bits of bling. Like, see the different sizes? So we've got these 3 different sizes here. Can you see them? I'll move it a bit closer. Is it going to be fuzzy? No, it's being all fuzzy. All right. But yeah. Oh, I'm a shaker card fan. You all know that. I think there's ribbon coming. There's always usually fibre coming. I know I've seen a hint of a hippopotamus, but there's other online exclusives coming and I don't know what they are. So I've just bought in the white glitter organdy ribbon, but organdy ribbon, you know what I'm talking about. So first things first, we need to pick a piece of designer series paper because I've got, oh, I don't want to put that too far away. I have got, and we're just going to play with designer series paper today. I don't think I'll use a die cut, even though I got Tony to bring over the machine, but you know, hey, shh, we won't tell him. So I've got a piece of basic white thick. For those that don't know, we can get basic white in both thick and, well, you want to say thin, but they're regular basic white. The thick basic white makes the best card bases. Hi Lenny, how are you going? We've got quite a few joining us today. I'm very excited to see everybody. All right, so we got some basic white, matches perfectly with our C6 basic white envelopes. It's just an A4 piece cut in half to give us the A5 size, which essentially makes a card that's 10.5 by 14.9 and a bit. Okay, fits perfectly in our envelopes, as you can see. Oh, Don't mind that bit, it's a bit dog-eared there. All right. What that means is if we were cutting down a piece of designer series paper, you can cut it to that size and it can sit straight on top if you want it to, or you can cut it so it's got a frame with the white around the edge, which we can do. We can pick, what color shall we play with? All right, let me see. Here's our colors. We've got Flirty Flamingo. We've got some Daffodil Delight, although I think that they've actually, I bought over Shaded Spruce thinking, oh, I wonder what I'm going to do with that. How am I going to get that? We've got some Soft Sea Phone, and we do have Pretty Peacock. I don't have any Pretty Peacock cardstock left, but there's Pretty Peacock in here. Look at that. How pretty is that? We can, let's see, what color? Let's go to a vote. Okay, everybody. What color will be our basic color that we're going to start with? So we're going to pick from Pretty Peacock, Soft Sea Foam, or Flirty Flamingo. Let's take out Daff, because as much as I like Daffodil Delight, I don't remember seeing. Oh, yeah, we could do Daffodil Delight, but I changed over to YouTube to watch it because Facebook kept freezing on me. Well, okay, everybody, there's a tip for you. If Facebook's mucking up on you, head on over to YouTube and see what you've got over there. All right, Flirty Flamingo and Soft Sea Foam have both got a vote. Chris has gone for our Soft Sea Foam, and Donna's gone for Linny's gone for Flirty Flamingo as well. All right, who else is up there? Donna's gone for Flirty Flamingo. Flirty Flamingo for the win so far. Gosh, I feel like I'm a, what do they call it? A horse racing caller. You know, I used to be able to do that really cool. That's a really pretty piece of paper, isn't it? It doesn't need anything else. That could be just stuck on there with a sentiment added up the top. You could even stamp straight on the piece of designer series paper if you cut it correctly. And how pretty is that? Should we do that one? And then we'll do something else. So looks like both Soft Sea Foam and Flirty Flamingo are both up there. So if we do it quick enough, let's bring in the fuzzy cutter. I did bring over to my table, and it's developed some legs. This is my favorite, wishing you wishes for a beautiful birthday. It's from Flame Florets. You've all seen this stamp set before. Sorry, don't mind me with my piece of plastic. Flame Florets. This has to be currently my most favorite of all time of the birthday wishes. Okay. I do like to, I've got some birthday cards that need to be made. So let me trim this up. Well, I've got another vote here. Yes, it has to be my favorite too, Donna. It's just, they're very wise putting it on the front, weren't they? So I essentially want this part because I really want to, I'm going to stamp my sentiment up here. This is for someone that's new. So they don't have a lot of supplies. They might have their cutter. I've been cutting out photos. You wouldn't know that, would you? If you've got a friend that's only new to stamping, they don't have a lot of supplies, these sorts of cards are great for them, where they can make a card very easily, very quickly. Sorry, excuse me, and go from there. So because my card front is 10.5 across here, I'm going to cut this out at 10. I have the choice. I could cut this piece off here first, which actually I think, no, I won't. And the reason why I won't is because, got to hold my tongue right, is because then this piece here I can actually cut it down so it fits right on the edge. Okay. But I am putting that aside for now. It's a little bit fluffy because of my dodgy trimmer blade. I will be ordering some more. So for my next class, ladies, you won't be getting fluffy stuff. And I'm cutting a little bit off the bottom because I actually want all that space up the top. See how it's fluffy? Oh. I usually have a whole stash of blades, but I found where I've used them all. This is just a nail file. Okay, so I'm just You know how last week I actually made it look like it was dodgy because I really wanted to, I didn't necessarily want it to be, but I couldn't get that. I didn't have the nail file with me. That's what I used the nail file for. And now you'll see it's no longer fluffy. All right. So if you've got a friend that's just starting out, there's nothing stopping them from popping that straight. Gosh, I folded that badly. Good Lordy. Okay. That was very bad. Must have been when I did that. That's better. Okay. You can pop this straight on the front and they're going to end up with a very pretty card. Okay. Yeah. What's the deal with the blades? I had to order new blades. It's just, and I probably should have scored my piece of white cardstock because it's looking as crooked as a dog's hind leg. But you know what? I don't think my friend will notice. So what a pretty card. Even by itself, you could add a little bit of bling and you could just stamp one of the sentiments on it. Or I can do one of the sentiments on it. Okay? And then just put a ribbon across it. And that is a great card for a beginner. Okay? So easy, just stick a sentiment on it. Now, I do think I've got, have I got here? I thought I might have had. I think I might have. I thought I might have had some circles already cut because I've got quite a. This fits into one of our. Oh, what do they call it? Our stylish. Oh, my names. All the names are going from me. Nothing stopping you popping something across the bottom here. Sticking a long skinny sentiment. This one really goes well with a round sentiment. Absolutely perfect. So you've got a lot of options for the beginner. These pieces here, I think I showed you them last week, are all my offcut pieces from when I make my bits of paper, my bits for my insides. All right, but we're going to go with that. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp this on here. And I'm thinking that I probably would want to do Pretty Peacock. Would I? No, actually I don't. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to go. Yes, we're working way too much. We're wearing them all out. Oh, you know what? You're right, Donna. I'm going to grab a circle. Quite frequently I sit in front of the telly and I make circles. So just a few. And if I cut paper up like I cut circles up, no wonder my blades are going blunt. What do you reckon? So this sentiment fits perfectly on this stitched die, the stitch circle. It fits beautifully over here. And that sits beautifully on there. So let's do that. I am going to use Flirty Flamingo. Anyone think I hadn't used this recently because it's still a bit stiff. Now, I don't have a foam mat under me. We do recommend having a foam mat under you for this. But I've got about, I don't know, 20 of these grid pieces of paper. Line it up, stick it in the middle. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. I'm going to leave that open for a sec. How pretty is that going to look? You could put it up there if you really wanted to. It would look pretty up there too. Actually, that's probably what I'm going to do. But the other thing I'm going to do is open my stamp set for starters. And are you going to fit on there? Yep, you are. I think I might have some flowers and some leaves to go with it. Why not? But we're working with a beginner. Step back, Courtney. We're working with a beginner. Let's do a couple of different things. So I'm a brand new stamper. I don't have very many supplies. I've got some designer series paper. I've got a couple of inks. I've bought the special and I got a bit of ribbon. Okay. And because Courtney's so wonderful, or because the demonstrator that I bought it from, or if I bought it from myself, I just added this pretty ribbon because it's white and it goes with everything. Okay. Somewhere on the table there's some snips. We're going to glue this piece down. And I've got 4 pieces here. And this is not the piece that I'm going to be using in our... How pretty is that? Oh my gosh. This is not the piece I'm going to be using in our special class that we've got happening. Donna's in the special class as well, so she knows what I'm talking about. It's a collaboration between a whole heap of demonstrators. All right, so I'm gluing that down. So yes, Donna knows what I'm talking about. And I can pop my sentiments straight on there. And that is a really pretty card for a brand new stamper. They've stamped something, they've got the wow out of it, or you've got the wow out of it. And how happy would that make you? Okay, easy and very, very much achievable. Want to add a bit of ribbon to it. Let's see, we're going to do... They're nice and sharp, not like my blade on my trimmer. Okay, we can pop some ribbon on here and we can stick our sentiment over the top of it. Okay, and that's going to look really pretty. We might have bought some gems which have gone walkabout on my table. Where did I put them? Can anyone see them? They'll be right in front of me somewhere here. Yep, there they are. We could even put some gems on them, which I'm going to do. And I think we need some pink ones. Oh, my take your pick tool would be very handy here. If you roll up the end of it, you've got putty in the end. All right. And that putty, they stick to. And you can just take these things out. Look at how tiny this one is. Oops, it's upside down. All right. How cute are they? All right, so what we're going to do is, because I want to do it more than one, I'm just going to put a little bit of tape. This is how I'll often attach my ribbon, ladies and gents, if there's any gents watching. Okay, my ladies that come to my class know that this is what I do. So I'll pop a bit of double-sided tape underneath wherever I want to attach my ribbon. I make sure if it's going underneath something, like in this case the sentiment, I can actually I'll cover it up with the sentiment as well, like that. And because I've got some on the table, I thought I had some on the table. I had some white baker's twine on the table, but it must have moved, and that cream's not going to work. We won't be doing that. I could have put some white baker's twine on it, but because now I lost my train of thought. All right. I make sure wherever I put my tape, I will be putting something over the top of it in the way of a sentiment, because I don't want that to accidentally stick to the envelope in any way, shape or form. If I'm sticking over the top of a ribbon, I will make sure that my dimensionals, which are not liking being in the sun over here, I don't think, because they're a bit hard to get off here. I make sure my dimensionals are, whoop, you didn't come off. That one's being stubborn. I make sure that they don't actually stick to the ribbon, because they just don't seem to stick as well to ribbon. So let's put it in the middle. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. Now, I like where I've put those dots. They don't have adhesive under them, but if I'm just going to do them, I'll just move them a little bit to the side. Make sure this is down the bottom. Squeeze it ever so slightly. If you think you're going to be too heavy-handed with it, my suggestion is that you put a little bit on a piece of scrap paper and you get a toothpick. All right, and you just put a teeny tiny dot there where you want them to land. Now, this adhesive will dry tacky, so you don't want it to squeeze out the side. All right, So, but I am just going to let it dry just a little smidge. And I'm going to put another 2 down here. I'll put one over here. And I'm going to put one over here. I don't want to line it up with anybody else because I don't want, essentially, I don't want them to be doing the same job. So none of them are in line. But it means that I need to get a couple more out of here. So I've got the 3 different sizes. Oh, there's another small one. So I'll have another small one over here. Sorry, excuse me. A medium one over here, and I'll get another big one out. All right, so these ones up here, they've started to dry. So they've got like and it'll be really hard for you to see, but you have to trust me. They're starting to get like a clearish ring around them. Now, although this adhesive does dry clear, it dries tacky. So we do want to cover it up, but by letting it dry just a little bit, what that does is it gives the glue a chance to not spread. All right, because when we put these guys onto it, we don't want it to squish out the side, but we want them to come off and stick on there. Well, it's now got a bit of blue stuff attached to it. And that one can go on there. Push them down. My putty's coming right out now. And this one here can go on here. All right. Has it been really hot where everybody is? My putty is like really putty. It's like slippery putty. And this one can go down here. And again, it doesn't want to come off. Turn these guys were upside down. So on one side, oh, I saw it squeeze out the side there. I probably didn't wait long enough for that one. Just jiggle it around a bit. So yeah, and push it down. Come on, Danny, stay. That looks really pretty. You could also put some of these gems along the bottom here just to tease it up a bit. But how pretty is that? Very easy card to make. And it gets you stamping and it gives you lots of wow. Now, what I'm going to do is the inside of my envelope to go with this card, because I do have everything here. And I'm not going to add a second piece to here. So I have to be a bit careful because these little pieces here are still a bit loose, but that's all right. So hindsight tells me I probably should have stamped first. So I'm not going to set my stamps up. I know that's not ideal, but that's okay. And what I'll do is I've got this green one, this stamp here. I'm going to put a little bit of that. Is this 345 time a bit better? I feel like it's not as glary on the table. I mean, that's not necessarily why I did it at this time, but you know, I just want to add, yeah, you can see it. That's so pretty, isn't it? All right, and let's do another one just in here. I love this sort of stuff. Does anyone remember Gorgeous Grunge? That used to be one of my favorite stamp sets, and then they took it away. All right, so I'll just take this off here. I'll just pop it up there because I actually want to do some leaves. If you've got a blender pen handy, you can actually color these leaves in with your blender pen. I don't think mine's here. Oh, there's one. Is it wet? I'll have a look in a sec. So didn't really know where my leaves were going to land because I can't see them. I must admit, it's so much better having them actually on the back of your sticker on there because you can see what you're stamping. But is what it is. We're stamping today. We're not putting cards together. And I know there's a little green dots and everything everywhere, but that's okay. I am still going to. Now my flower goes up that way. I'm going to put my flower here like so. All right. And then using a blender pen, if you've got one that's wet, which this one is, you can actually come in and do a little bit of pushing some of that ink around a bit, just so that it gives a little bit of colour in amongst your petals. Sort of bleeds the colour into your petals a bit. And it just changes them. It also is great if you don't get the best image when you stamp. And what it does, and so to clean it off, you just clean it on a piece of paper. If you don't get the greatest image when you stamp, you can use that to your advantage. You know, because don't want too much room to write. Hit what by mistake, Donna? Yes, totally love tech. Do you know what? That needed Donna wrote, I mentioned a bit before about Gorgeous Grunge. This was Donna's reply. Do you know what? It needed those big letters. We were shouting that. It was our favorite stamp set. It was definitely one of mine. Oh, I haven't done the envelope. All right, so I've got a beautiful card, and anybody can make this card. It is a beautiful card that anybody will be absolutely thrilled to receive. All right. And a couple of the beautiful things about it is that not only did you hand make it, but I need to leave room for some leaves, don't I? Actually, no, I don't. Look, we're going to do this. And put a little bit there. And put a little bit there. Okay, so we've got a background there. Oops, I'm just going to pop that up there to the side. I'll hide that. Donna doesn't need to be on show for the whole time. Close that one up. Bring out the soft sea foam. So we got to use both colours that everybody wanted. And let me put this one back on. And we'll just go over here. Look at that. How pretty is that? And how easy is that? Lots of wow with that. With a very easy stamping. That's all I've done. I did do, I will admit, I did do a little bit of cutting out because of my circle, but that's okay. That you could have cut a square. Okay. So a very basic, very easy card to make. Okay. Shall we make another one? We've got time because I haven't even been here for an hour. So, and I bought another piece of white cardstock over. Let's see if I can do it straight. All right. So we've got this one pretty card up here. If you are using your score tool, score it at 10.5. The score tool is the light grey one. Don't accidentally use the knife. I say it like that because I'm sure that I'm not the only person that's done it. Fold her in and look how much easier that was. Did I get it right? Yes, I did. And it's fairly, yay, it's even. One pretty card. All right, with an envelope to match. We have a spare piece of designer series paper that if we wanted to, we could just pop it here. We could stamp flowers all over here. What am I doing? Why am I saying we could? Let's do it, hey? So let's step this up a bit. You could put it up that way if you really wanted to, but you don't need to. So let's stamp straight onto. I know I said I was going to do a soft sea foam on as well, but let's use this extra piece of designer series paper. I just saw a hair in my stamp pad. Okay. This one here is the smallest of the flowers. Okay. I'm just randomly stamping some flowers around. Is that going to be enough? What do you reckon? Maybe? Why not one more? Yeah. And then I'm going to stamp some more leaves. Now, there is a little double leaf in here, and I did have a smaller block here somewhere. I'm going to take this off and pop that on my smaller leaf on my smaller block, because the beauty about having smaller blocks is that you don't end up with as much stuff all over you. And there's also this little guy. So I'm going to pop this on here. Now I know there's a bit of a gap between them, but if I do it right, I'm just going to shove those two together like that. Okay. We're doing soft sea foam or pretty peacock? No, soft sea foam. Stop. I do love pretty peacock. And we're going to do that. And we're going to stamp both at the same time initially. And this makes just a beautiful card front by itself. They're pretty leaves. Now I'll just take these ones off, and I'll just do some of these little ones. It would be better if I had an A block, which is a tiny little block, but they're all on the other table. And I don't know which ones are going to get covered up, so I'm just going for it and stamping wherever. Okay. Now, the other thing I can do, I did bring the Daffodil Delight over. And because this has got a bit of Daffodil Delight in it, now it also has a bit of a rough edge there, so I'll just give that a bit of a press down. Stamp cleaner. If you were a stamp cleaner, where would you be? Oh, right over here in front of me. I'll just give this one a bit of a freshen up. The actual one I want. Okay. I'm going to put some Daffodil Delight dots all over it. And yes, there's some of them on the flowers. There's some of them not on the flowers. But how pretty is that? It looks like a great big piece of designer series paper itself, doesn't it? All right. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do on my inside, but I haven't decided yet. So I can pop this on here. Need to trim it down. And because I'm going to go edge to edge, I'm going to trim it down to 14.9. Okay. Working in teeny tiny confined spaces. I'm going to take a bit off that bottom bit. So 14.9 and a bit it is. So I don't need to take much off. If you don't have a trimmer that's really accurate like our Stampin' Up one, what you can do, because these are the bomb, what you can do is you can line it up on your piece of card, and then you can open the card up and trim with your snips over the top of it. But if you do that, look at that. That's going to look really, really pretty. And I didn't do a very good job. My piece of white cardstock's obviously a bit smaller. Now, what am I going to do with my ribbon? I can all hear you saying. Got a couple of options I can do with my ribbon. I can put my ribbon on here so it's pretty. I can tie a knot in here so it's pretty. I can add another color. So because I've got, oh, maybe not that one. Where is a soft sea? There was a pretty soft sea foam piece, wasn't there? You all saw it. I remember seeing it. And looking. Oh, how pretty is that? That'd work. That one. I want that one. Okay. Shared to my groups. Thanks heaps. Hi, Sam. How you going? Yes, Sam, you do need to get this set. This set is just divine. So many beautiful things in it. There's just too many things, too many pretty things. So that I can use that as a card front, like I did with the first piece, I will cut this piece automatically ready to go on my card for my next time. So, oh, excuse me. Okay, so I'm putting that aside for my next card or for another card, and then I'm going to use this piece here. Now, I'm thinking that I'm going to cut this piece 1 centimeter smaller. Ooh. Yeah, because we want to see a little bit. Let's go with 1.5 centimeters smaller. That'll make it, and 14.9 and a bit. Oops. Take that away. That's going to sit over there. Quite pretty. That works, doesn't it? What are we happening here? Keep dropping everything. Anyone know what the pollen group is today? Pollen count is today? Well, let me tell you, it's high. Okay, so I'm thinking I actually don't need it to be that big. I might trim that one down a bit more. And don't get rid of any of these pieces. I probably should have only cut that as one. So I'm going to take this down 0.5 centimeter. Where is it? That pit's probably not much help to us, but I'm a bit of a hoarder by nature, so we'll see how we go. Yep, that's going to be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have this and this over here. Yep. I'm going to glue this piece here to this piece here. Look at how blunt that blade is. Oh my gosh. New blades on order. Thanks, Sam. I love this comment, so you all get to see it. So, one piece of designer series paper. So far, I pinched from another piece, but we've got 2 cards out of it. It's so pretty. You could almost just add one of those circles by itself. Oh, look. What do you reckon? Go that way? Let's go that way. How nice does that look? Yeah. All right. Change of plans. Change of plans. In comes the blunt trimmer again. Let's see how it goes cutting through 2 pieces. My cardstock is 10.5. My pretty front piece is now 10.5. And it's a little bit fuzzy, so where did I pop my nail file? Oh my gosh, I've made such a mess here. And you know what I'm going to do? Because I love it so much, I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock ink pad this time. That is going to go there. I'm going to pull out one of these pre-made circles again. And it's going to go there. All right. But I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for my sentiment this time. And the way that I'm going to bring some Pretty Peacock in is I'm going to use the, I'll just put that on there. I am actually going to use the Pretty Peacock gems. Gosh, you can tell this pad hasn't been used for a while. I might still need to get a new one. Let's see if it stamps all right. Oh, it's a bit dry. It's been in the drawer. Yeah, it's a bit how's your father, guys. It is called crafting on the fly. Look at that. I'm making an impression in here. All right. If they choose to update the colours, I will be getting a new one of these. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. Please work, please work. Yay. But that's a bit of a worry. In saying that, that stamp pad's probably been sitting in the drawer for a good couple of years by itself. And yeah, does anyone remember when these colors were? Were they the ones that just retired 12 months ago? I've had the dehumidifier running. That's always fun. Look at that. Another very easy, I was about to call it a Christmas card. Let me show you how I do some bows, guys. Now, for those people that pop an order in through me, you will get also as a thank you, you will get I belong to a tutorial group, and you will get a copy of the tutorial group for this month, or for that becomes available on the 1st of March. Okay, there's a new one. At the moment, we've got a love one happening because love month. It's Valentine's Day. All right. So next month we've got a floral one happening. So anyone that pops an order in February will get the love month card, the love month set. Anyone that pops an order in March, you'll get one that's a floral set. Now, I talk about in my card that I make for that, which the only way you can see that card is if you actually put in an order through me or you belong in my team, because my team gets to see them. Okay. If when I say, I always tell people, my ladies don't like making bows. Let's put it as easy as it is. They are not a fan of doing bows, the majority of my team members and the majority of my crafters. So there's a couple of different ways to do a bow. So this is the way that I like best because I have so much control over it. So what I've done is I've put a bit of just double-sided tear tape on the back, and I've attached my ribbon. It's not tight, because if you pull it too tight, you end up with a piece of cardstock that bends like this. So it's not too tight. I was going to say fairly even, but it is fairly even. It's not very even, but Then what I'll do is I'll put my ribbon, I'm right-handed, I'll put my ribbon to that side. And then I'll tie my bow. And we all know about bunny ears, and we learn it when we're tying shoelaces. So I'm hoping that you can see I've done one loop across here, and I'm now shoving this piece here underneath there and through there. And I'm going to end up with a bow. I should end up with both of my taggy bits down the bottom. Okay? Although that one's wanted to sit at the top. My pointy bit sitting up there, I want it on that end though. So I'll just move it across. So it gives me extra options when it comes to my bows, because I can move them around. Okay? That is one of the reasons why I like to do bows this way, is I can move them from side to side depending on where I want said bow to sit. And the reason why I didn't pull it too tight is, as you can see, it's already gathering a bit. It's already curling a bit. It's because when you pull on it, it ends up big bow petals, but it ends up pulling anyway. So you need to leave it so that it's not so, you don't want it taut. Is that the correct word? Am I looking for the right word? And then that way my bow can sit over there. So it's actually going to sit away from my sentiment, because I want it to sit here like that. Right? Does that make sense? And then because of where I put my bow, I can see that my bow's up the right way. So that's going to frustrate the living daylights out of me. That piece of ribbon needed to come down a bit, but let's force it into submission with some glue. I could put another piece of tear tape on it, but I won't. And because we're playing right up against the edges of our card, you will need to make sure that you put a bit of glue right up against your edges. I normally hang out about 1 centimetre in from the edge, but because we're right up against that edge, I need to pop some there. All right. The reason why I hang out about 1 centimetre from the edge is because I allow for squish room. And I'm going to put that up there and there. And then we'll just go squish. Squish rim being the bits that go when it comes out. That is not straight, and it's really throwing a spanner in my works, but once we stick this on, you will not notice, I promise. Okay, let's put, again, we're going to put our dimensionals on either side of our ribbon so that our ribbon doesn't get held down by the dimensionals, but it really is so that our paper sticks to, our dimensionals stick to paper, which seems to give it a better stick. They don't stick as well to ribbon as what they do to paper. So there's no point in fighting with them. If we can straddle the paper, straddle the ribbon, we might as well. And we'll take them off, not with that. You saw before I used the take your pick tool. This time I'm going to just do it really fast. Okay. Now the other way to do a bow, another easy way to do a bow, I've just got to hold my tongue right to get that straight, is I've got a block. Where's my ribbon? Now, my block needs to be at least twice the size of my piece. Did you see what I did? So I rolled it over. And that means that if I wrap a piece of ribbon around that, that's going to be longer than that piece. Okay? So if I use my block, and you can use a pen, you can use a bigger block, you can use a punch if you really want to. All right? But we're going to tie a knot. And we're going to just tie a bow like we would our shoelaces. Okay? And then we have a pretty bow. So there's numerous different ways to do a bow. Just pull it nice and firmly. Okay? You'll notice this bow will sit a little bit differently to what the other bow sits, and that's because it's got that knot underneath. Now I've got this bow, and because I don't have a card to stick it on, but I normally end up with my bows on this side. I can actually roll it off there. If I want my bow to sit here, I'm going to cut my ribbon. Now, this is where I say, make sure you cut this bit straight. Right? So it's straight here. I don't know if you can see it. Straight. Because I've cut my other piece here on the angle. So I know that's the legs of my bow. That's the bit that's going to get wrapped around the card, and you'll see it's going to fit perfect. This bit here has got more colour in it, so I'll show you. So that's going to fit all the way around there with a bit at the back to adhere it. So that's two different ways to tie a bow. Okay, so I'll pop that aside for a card for later. Now I need to bring in this pretty peacock colour. So to do that, I'm going to stick some dots on here. So like I did before, you have the choice. You can actually put your adhesive on. And because I've got no pretty peacock anywhere else, and I want at least 10%, okay, I'm going to do quite a few dots. Oh, excuse my sniveling. My mother would be mortified. Actually, Auntie Lol, are you watching? Because if Auntie Lol's watching, she would be too. All right. But yeah, I'm covered in mosquito bites. My histamine level's up around my neck. So the mosquitoes had lunch on me last night and dinner, and probably even morning tea. All right, what did I do with all those little bits? Where did they go? All right, I am looking. There they are. Found them. Okay, what's everybody been up to? Here comes the sun. All right. Yeah, there's Auntie Lol. Auntie Lol's here. I thought you would be. Okay. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to, I better stop yabbering and get my, because my glue, it's so nice and warm. My glue's drying really fast. I'll put that on there. See how I added a few dots here? And I'm just, do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we're just going to add the little ones. Come on, babies. Now, I think, gosh, I can't remember the context and I heard it, but I think about it when I'm doing my scrapbook pages. 40, 40, and then 20. So like if I'm using 3 colors, I'm using 40% of one color, 40% of another color, and 20% of another. So like in the theory, where's my mathematics uncle when I need him? But it's or the rule of thirds. Like there's a couple of different rules, and it just depends on which rule you want to play with or which one you want to make up. But is that right? Which one you want to make up? Turn over. Yeah, you can go there. And there's always like that 10, or essentially there's that color that's almost 10% or 20%. So the color that there's not as much of, which in this case is going to be our beautiful pretty peacock, even though that it was a crusty stamp pad. So that just brings, oh, and I missed one, there's one up there. That just brings that peacock color in. Let's do a bigger one. That brings that peacock color in, and it makes it work. All right, what do you reckon? Bobble hanky nanny. Yes, I know. All right. Now this one look, that envelope would work as well, but it does need, I haven't done the inside of this one. So let's do the inside. How pretty does that look? And we've stepped this one up a little bit. We've tied a bow. We've added extra layers. So we've essentially stepped that up. So we've got this, we're using the same supplies, but we're stepping it up. We've used an extra color ink pad, and we're going to pop the same in here as well. And again, I'll just use a couple of lots of dots. We'll pop some leaves in. Probably not both sets, but just one set. And maybe a little bit down here. And we're going, oh, I should have done the envelope at the same time. Let's do this envelope. It's such a pretty stamp. They're such pretty leaves. I'm looking forward to cutting some of the stuff out with from the cut and emboss machine. Oh, don't lose my bow. Hide that over there. The breeze just came up. Everybody, say hello to Maeve. She's trying to be all sneaky. Hello. Hold on. Let me show you. She's trying to be all sneaky up here on everybody here.
That's not true. I'm tea steeping and I needed something to do.
Okay. Well, I'm doing this. You can take that and warm it up. Thank you. All right. So, and we're going to stick a flower on. Well, that didn't turn out very good. All right. She's distracting me. One blender pen.
Microwave tea.
I do want to make her microwave them. I'm making her microwave my tea, and she's absolutely mortified. And let's just, because there is no way in the big wide world that anyone, unless you're using this Stamparatus, would not be able to line that back up again. Oops, sorry, excuse me. So hence, this is another great way to use your blender pen. Or you can do what some of my friends do and just swap out your envelope and don't use that one. But, you know, like anything, you don't want to waste. And I think I haven't done too bad. All right. So now it still looks pretty. And I'm not sure if you can see. Don't ever stick. This has got different chemical to, there's a water-based chemical. It's like a glycerin type of glycerin. Right. You don't want to stick it in your stamp pad, because I don't know if you've seen my Melon Mambo, but it looks like nobody's business because I stuck it in the stamp pad. All right. It makes it all dodgy. Okay. So there's my envelope. So my lovely friends, let's call it 2 pretty cards using the online exclusives, which are coming soon. They're not available yet. Oh, I made it all crooked. Not available yet. Okay, we've got Pretty Designer Series paper. Oh, a set of dies that match the stamp set that I put somewhere else. The stamp set. And there's more. There's more things coming. That's what we have access as demonstrators to at the moment until the 1st of March. You'll get some of the things at the same time we'll get them. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me on today's live. It was great to see you all. Hopefully you like all those little goodies. I do. If you want to get them earlier than everybody else, don't forget, you can get them in your starter kit today, as Donna's just mentioned to me. That's right. If there's something that you're planning to put in a starter kit, let me know and I'll flick you through the codes so that you know what the numbers are and the prices and all that sort of stuff of the things that we can get already. Otherwise, for customers, they're available on the 1st, but watch this space because there's a great collaboration, like a workshop type thing where you'll have access to 13 videos, I think it is, Donna, am I correct in saying that? For those people that purchase a set bundle through me. Donna's also part of it, so yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, great to see everyone. Hope you have a great rest of Thursday and leading over the next week. We do have just over a week. The celebration finishes on the 28th, so time to join on up if you want to. Get in touch if you need it. 12 PDFs, 12 videos. Sweet as, Donna. See, told you she knows what we're talking about. 12 PDFs, 12 videos using the goodies in the bundle of all those things that you've just seen today. Different ribbon though, but that's okay. We'll see. So I will catch up with you all later. Remember, keep in touch. Have a great week, and I'll see you all at this stage next Thursday. Bye, or toodaloo.